So what about the women who aren't very attractive? Where do they fall?
Are you
I
asking
can
him about
answer
his?
that, but I'm going to let
Go ahead.
Palafus answer.
I'm speaking specifically to Paulo because he's the one who made the statement.
Okay. Have you ever heard of this whatever that quote is? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay. Provider is in the eye of the beholder. You like that?
No, right? Beauty.
Exactly. So I'm saying, like,
okay, pod. Here's the thing. I can find. Look,
it's a simple
I can find.
question, bro. Just answer it for me, please. It's not that difficult, man. And it's gonna make it look like I'm being difficult. Just please answer the question. You know there's a difference. So let's not pretend like okay. So then the women who aren't very attractive, what about them? Where do they fall?
You didn't hear my initial answer, which was not on my radar.
Okay, not on your radar.
Correct.
Absolutely. Cool. And you are speaking to what men should be doing, right? Generically, or as we pertain to it in general.
Sexually attractive to me and my taste. That cool, was the first.
Damien, we devil's advocate. You just made a statement because I'm not playing this game with y'all. Y'all always do this disingenuous shit. You just made a statement about what you think men should do in general, right?
Yeah.
I think they were speaking in general to men should do it as well, right? So they didn't say whether or not you had 50,000, 100,000. They didn't do any of that. They just said what men should do in general. So I'm asking a general question about a woman who is not very good looking, very attractive, as you put it, Paulo. Where does she fall on the spectrum? Spectrum, does she get the same provision that the very attractive woman get? Yes or no?
Podcast. We seem to be missing a very important point here. There is a societal acceptance of what beauty standard is, and then there is a personal standard of what beauty is to you and I. What I consider very attractive may be different to your taste, but we can, as a society, classify Angelina Jolie as a very attractive woman. Mm-hmm. Is that not correct?
Absolutely.
20 years ago.
Well, yeah, there's that to say. When we look at relationships, we look at things that are sexually attractive to us. We don't classify it as a whole society thing. We don't look at the most beautiful woman that all of society goes, that's a very attractive woman, therefore we should all go for her.
Yeah,
that's a very disingenuous way of framing your question to say, what about... It is because you're using a societal standard of beauty.
Does a man who can't... Should a man who can't provide get submission from a woman? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely. Okay, so you see how easy that was?
So
because that's not a beauty
standard. You see how easy that was?
That's a skill set. Beans. So that's a skill set. Beauty is not a skill set. That's where you're defining differences.
Absolutely is. You use 3 qualifiers, and one of them was very attractive. Okay. So my point is, if she's not very attractive, then where does she fit on the spectrum? This ain't that difficult.
Let me try and break this down so where you and I can both.
You don't have to. I don't want to hijack the show.
All men.
The statement earlier, you said that we're talking about relationships, not dictatorships. So if we're talking about relationships and not dictatorships, why is it that it seems that relationships don't tend to work out when the woman isn't happy? When the woman isn't happy?
You're asking me?
Absolutely.
Why doesn't it work out when the women's... Because it's a partnership. One person can't just be all happy, I'm fine, oh yeah, I'm great, running everything, and then here I am at home miserable. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's a partnership.
I'm going to add some...
Yeah. Like then the woman's not living in her truth. If she stays and she's not happy, I don't know.
Jessica, I'm going to add some context. Whether a relationship ends or not, studies show is contingent on a woman's happiness, and then they did the same for men's happiness, and there was little to no correlation. So
Absolutely.
I think Beans kind of knew that, but I just learned that like 2 years ago. So that was a really interesting.
By the way, we're not going to run away from this comparison of beauty to provision and protection. By the way,
you compared it.
I'm not. No. You use that as a comparison.
Absolutely, because you set that as the standard for why the woman would get your provision. You set it as the standard, Paulo.
Yes.
Okay, then. So then when I actually tried lacking that, you don't want to just answer the simple question and say, well, no, maybe she doesn't deserve provision, or even if she's ugly, maybe she should still get. Like, it's a simple answer, bro. You want all y'all want to give all these 20-minute soliloquies and show you that you know big words, bro. What happens to her? Do you think she deserves the same thing or not? If she's not very attractive, does she deserve the same thing that you're giving to your wife? Yes or no?
And I've said that already. I gave you an answer you didn't want to hear, and I
Was
also
it yes or no?
that
He said yes, but not from him.
No.
That's what he said.
Yes, but not for me. He said not to me.
Correct, because we can qualify one woman as beauty on a societal level, but on a personal level, it's very different. I'm trying to make that point so you can understand where I'm coming from. I also gave you my answer. So this whole thing about the protection and provision, that's a completely different sets of standards that we're trying to define men by. That's a skill set that we can acquire.
That's the point. You have a woman sitting right here on the panel right now.
That's not the equivalence of beauty.
She's not young. And
but that's not the equivalence of beauty when we compare it the other way, Beans. That's what I'm trying to make. Provision and protection is not the equivalent of beauty when it's put the other way around.
It's what they bring to the relationship. You qualified it, Paulo. I don't want to talk about it anymore because you're being disingenuous. Can we move on, please?